Alright, so when you are working on drawing your hair, you're going to go to the page where you need to draw just a couple of skull shapes, so just a circle with a jaw, chin line attached to that. Then if you want to, you can also include your guidelines so you can kind of see where everything will be. You don't actually have to draw your eyes, nose, and mouth in, but then you just kind of know where things are, where your ears are, and that kind of guides you in where your hair should be. Alright? And the most important thing to do when you start out drawing your hair is to draw it as a shape. Okay, a lot of us start out drawing hair as little hair lines like this, or girls, you might draw kind of curls going down like this, just one line at a time. That is not what we want to do. We want to draw our hair as a shape first, and then you can go back in and draw some individual hair strands and some more details. But remember, this is a cartoon style, so we don't want to do too many details. We want to start out with a simple shape, and then we can go back in and add more if we have time. When you start to draw, you may want to take a look at yourself in your camera on your iPad just to see where your hairline is. And your hairline is the basic shape that your hair makes. If you have a part in your hair, that means that your hair splits in one spot, and on one side of it, it grows one way, so it might grow out like this, and then the opposite side of the part, it's growing the other way. Okay, so if you have a part, that is where I would start. If your part's on the side or in the middle, I would start there and then start to draw your hair shape. And know that your hair goes both in front of and behind your ears. So normally most hair, the shape of the hair goes in front of and behind the ears. If you're a boy kind of drawing in your hairline, you would draw your hair both in front of and behind your ears. And I would call this part right here kind of like a step. And some of our hairlines are more square, some might be rounder and curved, but it kind of reminds me of a step. So right in front of your ears, you have the shape of like stair steps going on. And then the opposite side of your shape, you do still have hair going behind your ears. There's hair above your skull. So this round circle that you've drawn is your skull, and your hair does normally go kind of above your skull. So then you would draw your hair going above your skull and behind your ears to make your hair shape. Then, after you've drawn the shape in, you're kind of following the hairline that you have, you could go back in and add details. Maybe you have some swoops of hair kind of going, you gel your hair back a little bit, or you have a little curl to your hair. You might add some of those things in after you've drawn kind of the basic shape. Maybe your hair kind of pops up. You would draw in those extra details after you have the shape, because we know that no one's hair is like a box. It's not like this. But if you get that kind of basic shape drawn in, then you can go back and add other little smaller details. Again, as you're looking at yourself in the mirror, kind of notice where your hair lands as to where your eyebrows are. So if you want to, you could kind of just roughly throw in some eyebrows. Maybe you have really long bangs, so your hairline goes way down to your eyebrows. It still, again, goes in front of your ears. It might even cover up your ears. That's okay too. So go ahead and draw that shape if you need to. If your hair's if you have a lot of bangs going on, you would, again, just kind of draw a more natural looking shape where it's not like this perfect round thing. And then you might even have some hair kind of behind your ears and going behind your skull. That's the other thing. Your hair goes behind what you've drawn for your face. There's hair in the back of your head too, so don't forget about that. So this is kind of showing that there's hair going behind the head here. And now again, I kind of drew in the shape, but then you might go back and add in some like individual strands to make your hair look more natural and less like a shape. So that's another way that you could do that. Starting out with a shape, and then you just kind of go back in and add in extra details. And the main thing you want to do with the individual strands that you do draw is to show which way your hair is growing. So in this example, the hair is growing down over the forehead. And then it's also growing down from behind here as well. And it's going basically over the eyebrows for this guy. And so far I've drawn hair with a part and kind of some waves, a hair that is longer, that's a little bit wavy as well. But maybe you have short hair, maybe you have a buzzed haircut. You still would be drawing in that hairline, and most likely your hair is not as far away from your eyebrows as you might think. Some students, again, will draw just little lines at the top of the head. That's usually not how it looks. And again, you don't have to draw the eyes and eyebrows, but it's just to show you where things are. But maybe you do have a short haircut. You still would draw kind of that step on each side and the line going across, but then your details won't be these long strands. They would end up kind of just being like a ruffled, smaller lines around the top. You're still kind of connecting them to make a shape. And then here at the hairline, you might just kind of make it so it's not straight across, because most hair, the cut isn't just this perfectly straight outline. And then you might just draw in a couple little detail hairs in the middle just to show a little bit of texture in the middle there if you have shorter hair. So I would go ahead and practice your hairstyles a couple times in your workbook. Make sure you look at yourself and look at your own hairline and how far away it is from your eyebrows. And if you can see any hair behind your ears, that's something that you might want to include as well.